Hello lovely people, this is Romdi, just a really short video on my iPhone that I just noticed. Basically, Apple's success is not based on a system, but rather on their hardware. And if you think about that, this multi-billion dollar company is based upon making the tech hardware kind of accessible for a lot of people. It's actually quite shite because here I on my MacBook Air, here is supposed to be the air vent, which it is. If you can like see it, well, no, you can't, because then there is this like big bulky piece of plastic that that the screen is mounted to. Is like right pressing up against the air vent. Now, if you go over to my other MacBook, this one still has a bit of a space between the air vent and the screen holder. Basically, this part of plastic of the screen holder folds out to give the air vent some space to blow out the hot air. Still not being in the ideal spot, but it does blow out the air. Well, on the MacBook Air, they have kind of made the mistake that this big bulky piece of plastic is not actually folding out, but it's just stuck to the air vent. And if I hold my hand here, there is like no air coming out of this really small hole here, which you can actually not even see on camera. It is there, trust me. So yeah, thinking that like the big reason for people to buy Apple products is or was because they were good hardware, that's just a piece of crap that's possibly going to catch fire tonight for me. So it is really astounding how Apple has gone downhill quite rapidly. So not only that they haven't really updated their hardware of Macs and MacBooks in more than a year now, or even longer. Actually, some of that tech is quite unusable, because I'm currently using it to render a video on iMovie, a built-in app that's like that shouldn't even have to use that much CPU if you really think about it, but it does. So it gets really hot back here, and the air is supposedly being pushed out of here, but it isn't. It's like really getting stuck on this piece of plastic that is holding this screen on. So sure, it's better to hold the screen on with one big bar than with two hinges, like most of the Acer laptops and all of those other things do, which then break off and then your laptop screen is off. It's sure better to do it that way, but then just do it as you did on the normal MacBook and on the MacBook Pro, and don't do it on like on the MacBook Air, where it just completely blocks the air vents. That's not the use of an air vent. So I think the people at Medium and the IBM PCs and all of that, they had quite big air vents, and also the laptops of, for example, Acer or I don't know, Lenovo or whatever companies there are, they had quite prominent big air vents on the side and near the screen, I think, to let the air out. And then you've got the MacBook Air by Apple, where the screen mounting mechanism is built like into the air vent pretty much. Yeah, I don't think that's how an escape works. Like, make a door and then patch it up with bricks. I don't think that's how it should work, but yeah. That just caught my attention because I'm today for the first time rendering a video on my MacBook Air, and I just noticed, yeah, there is not much air coming out of that thing if it should be, so maybe it's going to catch fire. But that's really strange to me that Apple is just manufacturing such poor hardware, actually. So I might have said in a previous video that I was quite lucky with my MacBooks not falling apart or having the keyboard stop working or something, but yeah, maybe I'm still gonna burn today. That's also one of the possibilities that you have when you own a MacBook, or two, or actually three for that matter. So yeah, a company building success on hardware and then many years after building that success kind of forgetting how to build hardware at all. That's a new one. I mean, I kind of really like the system, and if I would have to change back to Windows, I would possibly hang myself. But yeah, in terms of what you get in hardware, like iPhone has never had a cracked screen for me, never bent in unpredictable ways, so I'm quite happy with the iPhone, and I used to be happy with this MacBook, but the MacBook Air is just a complete piece of shit, which is possibly why I got it much cheaper with like a student discount, because they're just not going to get rid of them unless they really start discounting them, because that is a design flaw that could potentially be dangerous. So yeah, why not set a few students on fire? Yes, that's Apple for you. I am going to keep buying iPhones if I need to, and I'm going to keep buying MacBooks if I need to, but I hope that those two things still live for the next 5 years at least. If any of those two things breaks before the next 5 years, then I'm going to be pretty disappointed. And possibly having to going back to Windows for that matter, but yeah. Design flaws. Apple. Fix that, please, and please try to design a new, not dangerous, MacBook that is also cheap. Because you can't tell me that this thing is actually worth 800 euros. If I were to basically just hit that with a sledgehammer and sell the scrap metal that comes from it, I might get a tenner or something, but I don't think I would get 875 or whatever it cost me on a discount, and I'm sure I'm not going to get 1,500 for that thing just being scrap metal at some point. So possibly just consider, I don't know, just selling your systems. I think they might be more of your strong suit than the idea of hardware that you actually have to put up like this so it doesn't burn through your desk. And a short side note, while I was recording this video, my iPhone also went quite hot. Yeah, I don't think your iPhone should go hot when you just record a video, so yes, Apple and hardware. I think I'm like actually going to explode tonight. So, great.